Spring and Tractor Supply CEO Hal Lawton. Hal, it's great to see you again. Welcome.
Hey, Kelly, it's good to be on the show again. Thanks.
Can I start with the super wonky question about the buybacks?
Sure. It's really just an outcome of our capital allocation strategy. You know, we start first with our first lever in our principle in our investment strategies around investing in the business. They're very committed to a very attractive dividend. And then we do opportunistic share buybacks. And as we look at kind of our cash flow for the balance of the year and what's best in the way for us to allocate our capital, just a modest little tweak back in our share repurchases, very much in line with the guidance that we'd give, kind of in the range of the guidance we give at the beginning of the year, and kind of roughly consistent with what we've done in the past. So just a little tweak.
Got it. And then I want to move on to the kind of the larger questions with that now clarified, because you know, the airlines today, some of the other consumer companies, maybe it's idiosyncratic, Chipotle, some of the commentaries from the economists, like the data is also good. The earnings results from the last couple of quarters all seem pretty much fine. But is there this feeling that for some reason or another, there's a shift in the consumer environment right now?
Yeah, you know, I'm certainly getting a sense for that. That's in the kind of that mood, or if you will, or noises in the market today. It's kind of surprising because if you think about the news that came out of the market last week with the banks reporting and their discussions on the consumer, and it's stable and perhaps even trending better as you got through the quarter. And that's really what we saw as well. Consumer is very stable. We saw sequential improvement in the consumer through the quarter. We commented that July is stronger than our exit in June. So we're seeing continued strength, which I think is consistent with what some of the comments were last week. So what folks should be taking away from our comments today is much more consistent with what the news was last week on the consumer. And I would say, you know, we're kind of sending a different message than some of the other comments that you prefaced your question with.
Okay, thank you for that. You know, maybe a little bit of a sigh of relief there. Now we can talk about how you get more visitors than Disney World. Your market cap is bigger than Best Buy, Macy's, Kohl's, and Academy combined. You said you sold enough chickens to make enough eggs to make how many 10 billion omelets or something. So there's a lot of big numbers here, Hal, to talk about in terms of the business. And I don't know if people even need their chickens anymore now that egg prices have come down.
Yeah, I'd start by just saying life out here is alive and well. And rural America, back to the comment on consumer, is doing very well. Consumer confidence in rural America is outpacing consumer confidence overall in the country. Rural America is still benefiting from kind of moving and migration. And if you look at where job creations occurred in the first half of the year, rural America has overpenetrated, disproportionately benefited from those job gains. So in general, rural America is doing very, very well right now. And you can see that in our numbers. And rural America loves life out here. You know, our poultry category, as you talked about, is one of our really, really strong categories this quarter. Equine continues to be very strong. Things like bedding and others that go along with those categories very well. Forage. But also we saw strength in garden and in big ticket. Certainly once spring arrived, it was just kind of a delayed spring. And that spring is still occurring now in July. You know, a lot of pest control, weed control, still mowing occurring. It's been an exceptional July this year, probably one of the best Julys I can recall in terms of moisture in the ground and temperatures, all suitable still for like outdoor recreation and certainly, you know, outdoor activity.
Yeah.
So consumers very strong. Tractor Supply is doing really well in the context of that, and rural America doing really, really well.